With the return of EUL for Stage 2 comes a whole heap of questions. Will Rogue bounce back from their less than underwhelming performance in the mini-major? Will the new look Navi roster produce better results than the previous roster did last stage? Who among the league's rookies will make the largest impact? And how will the various new features affect play on this front of competitive Siege? While it will take some time and play to convincingly answer any of these questions, the league's first Playday certainly proved to be a strong jumping off point for our investigation. The stage was kicked off by a game between Empire and Rogue on Consulate. To answer the first question presented in the intro, no. Rogue have not seemed to have shaken off the mini-major performance. That, combined with the absence of aces, added up to a team which looked rather lethargic, especially on defense where they were only able to win their lobby and press defense. They neglected to defend the basement objective, and instead struggled to defend the falling out of favor top floor, picking and convincingly losing it 3 times. Though Rogue did have some interesting tactical choices.
One person in yellow stairs, not quite sure about this, because Zaka tries to challenge the one onto the balcony right here. Is going to be able to land the kill? That's the question.
I don't believe that they were all to blame. Empire actually looked quite good in this match, showing a bit of energy on attack with strong utility usage and efficiency that we not so long ago considered synonymous with the name Team Empire. This was catalyzed by a refreshing role swap in which we saw Joystick switching off Ashe and Jaeger for a more second entry flex role. Both him and Scooter or Scyther, I don't really know which one it is, seem to flourish with this change. The Rogue situation is an interesting one. I don't want to jump the gun and assume where they'll finish in this stage's standings, but if this kind of performance becomes commonplace, I'd say it'll be far different than last stage. I hope that this isn't the case, because when Rogue are at their peak, they are so exciting to watch, but with the lack of any current momentum and the absence of their most consistent impact player, the coming weeks look rather drab. Perhaps the most anticipated match of the day between Navi and Tempra was next. Navi, quite expectedly with their new lineup, leaned on early round aggression, which I thought worked decently well. It got Joe rolling early and allowed him the space to do what he does best. Despite this, Tempra were able to fairly consistently establish early round map control, but for the most part weren't able to convert this into strong executes. They did have an interesting method for clearing back Generator, which took advantage of the Wamai ban, though this did become a bit one-dimensional and allowed Navi to adapt and shut it down. This adaptive mentality was something Navi embraced both on their basement objective and CC, where they quickly switched off the Bandit after recognizing Tempra's efficiency with the Maverick, but this didn't make too much of an effect. Altogether, I think both teams played okay. If Tempra were able to convert more of their attacks, this game was really winnable. I thought both rookies for Navi had a decent performance. Blur seemed to blend in pretty seamlessly with both the team and his role within it, while Joe, who didn't have the greatest performance, didn't seem overly out of place how many people thought that he would. His struggles seemed to mostly come on the attacking side, where I thought he felt a bit uncomfortable on his role as Thatcher. With a bit more professional experience, and experience playing together as a team, I think that this new look Navi could have a semi-promising future. We saw another rookie debut in the following game where Milon, like Blur, showed that he certainly deserved his PL spot. His presence on Zofia contributed to VP's incredible efficiency on attack. Their basement attacks were very direct, granting them control of elbow and pillar within the first minute of the round both times that they attacked here. Like Tempra though, they failed to convert this quick map control into seamless executes, a phase of the round where VP looked a bit frantic. Vitality's anchors did a fantastic job of negating the effects of this fast control, which allowed their roamers to be pesky, though I thought the roam should have contributed a bit more in the fragging department. Vitality chose Kitchen Meeting as their tertiary bomb site, which is quite rare in EUL, and this certainly worked in their favor. VP looked totally lost trying to execute onto the site. While they established a pretty significant numbers advantage in the early round, their sloppy execution allowed Vitality's anchors to do their job extremely well. Vitality should probably have won this game based on their defensive half, but because of a few questionable strategic choices on attack, they were only able to leave the match with 1 point earned. Their attacks were extremely bottlenecked by their decision to only bring 1 hard breach. This really shined through on their top floor attack, where they were only able to breach Games Wall and not Attic. Though this worked because of a late round hero play, I don't see this being very replicable. They also chose to attack basement from main stairs and freezer rather than blue and pillar, which to me just seems weak. Because of this, it's a bit difficult to evaluate VP's defensive half, but I will say that I was interested to see their meeting roam when defending basement, This is an innovative idea, which I think could prove to be very annoying to deal with and experimented with by other teams in the future. Chaos, in their match against BDS, started their defense with an interesting small tower hold when defending kitchen dining, but after BDS simply chose to ignore it, the strategy ultimately came up short. This is a common theme which continued throughout the remainder of the match. Against a team like BDS, one which isn't incredibly structured and more reliant on their mechanical skill than anything else, these off-meta ideas may net you a round win or two, but probably won't win you the game. Even when things seemed that they may be swinging in Chaos's direction, BDS were able to pull it back by simply outgunning them at the crucial moments. While this isn't mine, or probably your favorite style of Siege to watch, after consecutive dominant performances, you really can't help but appreciate it. BDS chose to go with more meta strats than Chaos on the defensive side, and it proved very effective. They played very connected with one another, and focused on playing together and ensuring that trades were pretty much certain. Chaos did a pretty decent job of garnering early to mid-round map control, but again, couldn't really convert it into round wins because they just didn't win their crucial ones and didn't properly clear roams and lurks which punished them during their frantic executes. All in all, BDS, as expected, looked incredibly strong. They've clearly continued their momentum from the mini-major and seem to be implementing a bit more structure to their game, something which will certainly make them even more intimidating of an opponent. Chaos didn't necessarily play poorly, but just couldn't manifest any true momentum throughout the game, and when you're playing against perhaps the most informed team in current competitive Siege, not being able to do so will prove to be fatal. Our final match of the day between G2 and Secret proved to be the biggest shocker. As I'm sure many of you have already seen, Team Secret dominated the game against all predictions, winning 7-2. G2 just seemed absent, never able to get real control of the game. Their attacks were slow, playing straight into the hands of Secret, who paid special attention to time wasting and utility soak. This, coupled with G2's poor drone eco in most rounds, found them attempting very chaotic brute force type executes that relied on their entries face checking almost everything. While this will occasionally work when you have perhaps two of the most talented gunners in the world in Kanto and Citizen on your team, it certainly isn't reliable. Secret noticed this slow-moving attack and put Packbull, another new face to Pro League, onto the Clash during their reading fireplace defense, simply adding another very big layer of time waste that G2 really struggled to deal with. Packbull looked very comfortable in his new role and seemed as if he had been playing with the team for much longer than he has. He always seemed to be in the right position to support his teammates and ended up getting what I'll consider the play of the week during this 2v4 clutch when defending the downstairs objective.
The men from UKIN has to make sure that Prano has enough time to either go for a flank or fall back to site to be able to rejoin him in this fight here. And he's going to be trying to use some of these vertical plays that have been left by G2, but he's going to be completely missing the mark as Citizen jumps through the prep window here. Prano will be able to pick up a kill. Packbull will follow up as well as he gets traded out. It's suddenly a one-on-one situation now. The diffuser has been dropped. It's all up to Virtue in a one-on-one situation. He is going to go prone right here. Packbull, is this going to be spotted out? No, wow. It will not be. Secret will be up 0-4 right here. Packbull together with Prano for a clutch.
This result certainly raises some eyebrows and leads to many questions regarding G2 and their remaining matches, but more importantly, makes the relegation battle all the more interesting. With Secret playing like this, I can't see them being in one of the bottom spots. That, along with Empire's strong performance, puts Chaos in quite a difficult spot and may also begin to trouble some of the other not-so-hot teams.